Satanam, and welcome to this presentation, Functional Health with Ayurveda by me, Shubhrankar. The science of Maharishi Ayurveda is based on the idea that everything we see in the world comes from a unified field. And this unified field is all-encompassing, meaning anything can manifest from this unified field. It's also known as pure consciousness, pure awareness, and it has its own inner intelligence. It drives everything that we see in the world today. It doesn't move itself, yet it is moving the world. And creating the world. Some examples that I have here on the screen for you to help us better understand this is a seed. I love this example. So if you take a seed, it has no thoughts, it has no arms, no legs, it can't talk. And if you cut open the seed, seemingly there's nothing inside. So from nothing, you have a seed that is just nothing. And you put it in the right environment, you give it the right food, the right water, the right sunlight, the right treatment, and all of a sudden, it blooms into this beautiful flower or whatever it's going to bloom into. How does it do this? How does it do this? There is an inner intelligence, an inner working that exists. And that inner intelligence comes from this unified field, this consciousness. Another great example of this is birth. If a woman becomes pregnant, you have seemingly nothing, you have a cell. And then that cell divides, and all of a sudden there's a baby. The woman is not thinking, the man outside is not thinking, the baby inside is not thinking. This is not a thought process. This is not any process that we physically do ourselves as humans. There is a process, there is something behind the scenes that is moving and generating and knows. It knows how to grow a heart, it knows how to grow lungs, and it knows how to give birth. So, like this, we all have this awareness, this consciousness, this inner intelligence that's moving us, driving us through life. And this inner intelligence is the foundation of Ayurveda, and it's also the foundation of health. In Ayurveda, we recognize that the body can heal itself naturally, that there are natural mechanisms that the body has to help heal itself, and that the body has its own inner intelligence to be able to heal itself. It even has the knowledge of how to eat, when to eat, if we listen to it. So the process of Ayurveda is to provide those tools that help the body heal itself. So proper foods eaten at the proper time, proper habits around eating, proper habits around sleeping, proper habits around exercise, using herbal formulas, all help the body fall back in line with this natural law, this natural intelligence that exists within it. We also use things like meditation and yoga, sound therapy, light therapy, aromatherapy to help bring the person back in line with this inner intelligence. Consciousness has been divided into these 10 mandalas according to the Rig Veda. And these 10 mandalas, through Maharishi Ayurveda, they've associated 8 of the 10 mandalas with parts of the body. So the very first mandala is dynamism, and it's all about the variety, the flavors, the colors, the smells, the variety that there is in life. It's called Prakriti. And the second mandala is the earth element, the element of Prithvati. And this is associated with the muscular skeletal system, the muscles, the bones, ligaments, and tendons. Then we have the third mandala, Jal, and this is the element of water. The element of water within the physical body is associated with the cardiovascular system as well as the renal system. So it has to do with urination, along with the pumping of the heart, the blood, the veins, arteries. Then we have mandala 4. Mandala 4 is Tej or fire. It's associated with the fire element, and it is also associated, that fire element is associated with digestion and the digestive system. So the liver, spleen, pancreas, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, colon. Mandala 5 is associated with the element of air, also known as Vayu, and it is associated with the respiratory system, being able to inhale and exhale, followed by mandala 6, which is space or Akash, and that has to do with the spaces in the joints, the articular system. And then we move to mandala 7, mind, mana, and it has to do with the endocrine system. So we have a thought, and then that thought interacts with the endocrine system, releasing hormones, and then we feel happy or sad and other things like that throughout the body. Mandala 8 has to do with intellect, and it's all about the discerning element of the body. So, discerning what is good and what should be kept in the body, and what isn't good and what needs to be eliminated in the body. Mandala 9 is ego. Ego in Sanskrit is called a humkad, and ego is associated with the nervous system. Mandala 10 is the silence, the Purusha in Sanskrit, and it represents the unified field. So it represents that nothingness, and from that nothingness, all this, everything comes. And so we have Mandala 10 back to Mandala 1 in this cycle. Mandala 4 is associated with the fire element Tej, and it's also associated with digestion within the physical body. And digestion is one of the key factors in Maharishi Ayurveda, and it's also one of the factors that makes this appropriate for integrative medicine. So, digestion is the first step in the formation of our tissues. The physical development of our body is dependent on the foods that we eat and how we can integrate those foods that we eat. If we eat food that the body cannot digest, that partially digested food turns into ama in the body, and that ama with time can lead to a number of diseases within the body, from something that's curable to something that's incurable. So digestion is number one priority. And part of bringing that digestion and recognizing the digestion as a whole system is to recognize that there's 5 elements involved in the digestive process, and those 5 elements combine to form 3 doshas. And these doshas have to be balanced in order for digestion to be balanced. So when digestion is balanced, you have proper formation of tissues in the body. When you have proper formation of tissues within the body, then the physiology can flow freely and can connect back to that inner intelligence that it already has to maintain health and maintain longevity. In order to have proper digestion, you need to have certain proper functions. And these functions are, you need to have the right enzymes working and the transformation of that food into energy and into nutrients. And this is all pitta functions. When we talk about pitta dosha, we're talking about enzymes and the transformation of the food into the body. And then we also need the structure of the organs to be correct, and we need these organs to be lubricated, to be protected, to have that nice lining that needs to be there, the salvation that needs to be there. And that's all kapha dosha. That has to do with structure and lubrication. And then the last bit to have proper digestion is proper movement of the food, proper absorption of the food, and that all has to do with vata dosha. So when we have these 3 doshas all in balance with each other, we can have a properly functioning digestion system, which can lead to proper tissue growth. And if the tissues all develop properly, then all of a sudden we're flowing in this natural law, in this natural order, and have ease in life. Ease instead of disease. Ayurveda is functional medicine. It teaches us how to live within that natural law, that natural rhythm, the way to nourish the body so that it can do what it already wants to do, which is to heal itself. That's its natural state, is to be in balance. And Ayurveda gives us the tools through food, through habits, through lifestyle that can help lead us back, that can help walk us back to this natural state of ease. And a big part of this process is to maintain proper digestion. And by maintaining proper digestion, we can prevent disease. Thank you very much for watching.